Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about India and the Hardeep Singh Nijjar case in Canada. Let's begin. Hello. I am a global nationalist. I support nationalism in my country, India, and in all countries around the globe. Today I'm going to be talking about nationalism in India with respect to current events. Specifically, the case about Hardeep Singh Nijjar in his death in Canada and how India has reacted to it. Last year, Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, accused India's government of being responsible for the debt, and India reacted to that, and it's been a mess since then. This week, the Canadian police have said that they believe that the Indian diplomats in Canada have been involved in regard to this case, and the case has intensified. So yeah, I want to talk about what the facts of this case and how India has responded to this. Now I know that there is a similar case like this in the US, but I simply am not as well read on that as I am on the Canadian case, so I will not be talking about that. So without further ado, let's get started. It starts on in June to 2023, the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Sikh separatist Hardeep Singh Nijjar, age 45, was shot dead in Canada outside a Sikh temple on June 18th. The Gurudwara was located in Surrey, a Vancouver city with a large population of Sikhs. In 2020, he was assigned terrorist status by the Indian government. At the time of his death, Nijjar had been planning an unofficial referendum in India for an independent Sikh state. Now, it must be said that in India, uh, it is unlawful to call for separatism or secessionism, and you cannot have a referendum on that in India. Now, I know in Canada it's protected under free speech, but India it's not. So this would be illegal. And then on September 19th, Ottawa expelled an Indian diplomat and India retaliated by expelling a Canadian diplomat. The expulsion came at the same time as Ottawa's announcement that it was actively pursuing credible allegations linking Indian government agents to Nijjar's murder. India's foreign ministry said in a statement that expulsion of the Canadian diplomat was over growing concern at the interference of Canadian diplomats in our internal matters and their involvement in anti-India activities. And yeah, I agree with this action by India that if Ottawa had expelled an Indian diplomat without proving that that diplomat had uh, any connection to the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, there was no evidence provided. This was basically punishment without proven guilt. So I support India's retaliation, and I also agree that there are that Canadian diplomats who interfere in India's internal matters and are involved in anti-India activities should be expelled. And now to this year. In May 2024, three men were arrested and charged with Nijjar's death. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police said on May 3rd that three men had been arrested in an ongoing investigation into Nijjar's killing. So that's what happened until then. Now let me talk about this particular arrest and how that's progressed. This is the status of the case as of October 18, 2024. Judicial proceedings against the four men are arrested for the June 18, 2023 murder of Khalistani separatist Hardeep Singh Nijjar on the premises of a Gurudwara in Surrey, British British Columbia have made no substantive progress. This is disappointing. And on May 3rd, 2024, Karan Brar, Kamalpreet Singh, and Karanpreet Singh were arrested in Edmonton, the capital of the Canadian province of Alberta. All three men were charged with first degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder in the Nijjar case. Police said they had traveled from Edmonton to Surrey and to carry out the killing. And the RCMP Assistant Commissioner David Debul said the probe included investigating connections to the government of India and was certainly not limited to the involvement of the people arrested today. Karan, who hails from Kotkapura in Punjab, arrived in Canada on a student visa in 2019, when he was still in his teens. Canadian media reported that Bow Valley College in Calgary had said that one Karan Brar had enrolled in 2020 for an 8-month course for a healthcare clerk, but could not say whether he even attended classes or completed the program. So, yeah, we really don't know how legitimate his visit to Canada was. Apparently, it was for on a student visa, but it's hard to know if he actually attended classes. Although the Bow Valley College of Calgary said that somebody with his name did enroll in 2020 for an 8-month course. So yeah, it's clouded in mystery. Kamal Preet too arrived in Edmonton in 2019, where his sister lives. Karan Preet was his friend and shared a home with him. Karan met the two at the wedding of Kamal Preet's sister in 2023. So yeah, that's uh, these are the those are the people arrested, and after the arrest, 4 days later on May 7th, the three men wearing orange jumpsuits appeared before BC Provincial Court Judge Delaram Jahani. The provincial court is the first level of trial court in BC, below the Supreme Court, and the highest court in the province, the Court of Appeal. Karan and Karanpreet agreed through their lawyers to make a next appearance on May 21st. The fourth suspect, Amandeep Singh, 22, age 22, was arrested in Brampton, Ontario on May 11th. The Globe and Mails reported 3 weeks before Nijjar was shot, Amandeep was charged by Surrey RCMP with dangerous driving and fleeing police. Court documents show that Amandeep had signed an undertaking on June 6, 2023, agreeing to appear in court. He had also declared that he did not possess firearms. 12 days later, Amandeep allegedly opened fire on Nijjar in the parking lot of the BC Gurudwara. As per court filings, hours before the shooting, he was seen in the vicinity of the Gurudwara, allegedly behaving erratically. I believe that this counts as evidence, so they have evidence against these people. And he first appeared in court on May 15th, but the case was adjourned to May 21st. On May 21st, all four men appeared together before the provincial court for the first time, and Karan Kamalpreet and Karanpreet appeared in person, while Amandeep appeared by video link. Judge Emmett Duncan issued a no contact order, which is a bar on establishing direct or indirect contact with specified individuals. The case was adjourned to June 25th. On that day, the case was adjourned again to August 7th. This is a bit disappointing how slow the case is. On August 7th, defense lawyers appeared on behalf of their accused clients via video on Microsoft Teams alongside Crown Prosecutor Louis Kenworthy, who requested another adjournment. She informed the court that the Crown had been working to provide disclosure to the defendants, but the process was expected to take several more months. The provincial court judge Mark Jetty adjourned the matter to October 1st. A fifth adjournment came on October 1st, again on the request of Crown Prosecutor Kenworthy. And Kenworthy says, "We have not yet provided all the disclosure to my friends, and we are not at a point where I could say substantive disclosure has been completed. I will advise the court that options are being considered for the transfer of the file to Superior Court. So those are the two matters unfolding, which is why I'm asking for the long adjournment today. And as far as I know, adjournment has been given till maybe later October or maybe next month in November. These frequent adjournments are by the requested by the prosecution is unfortunate. It's delaying the case unnecessarily. They really need to uh, get the disclosure done fast so that the case can begin with trial. Situation is compelling us. This is their statement from October 14th. Multiple ongoing investigations into the involvement of agents of the government of India in serious criminal activity in Canada, and which says that there's a significant threat to public safety in our country. They found over a dozen credible and imminent threats to life, which have led to the conduct of duty to warn by law enforcement with members of the South Asian community, and specifically members of the pro-Khalistan movement. And earlier this week, the Deputy Commissioner of Federal Policing, Mark Flynn, made attempts to meet with his Indian law enforcement counterparts to discuss violent extremism occurring in Canada and India and present evidence pertaining to agents of the Government of India's involvement in serious criminal activity in Canada. These attempts were very unsuccessful, and Deputy Commissioner Flynn, yeah, met again over the weekend. I think that if these meetings did happen, then the Indian government should have provided evidence to show that they were not responsible in this killing and other criminal activities in Canada. And it's, but again, we still don't know for sure if evidence was provided. There's really no way we can prove which side is lying, India or Canada. The RCMP has obtained evidence that demonstrates four very serious issues. Violent extremism impacting both countries. I think this means that this is reading between the lines. I can think this means that the Khalistani violence is impacting both Canada and India. So it shows that the RCMP wants to somehow cooperate with India on this. Links tying agents of the government of India to homicides and violent acts. The use of organized crime to create a perception of an unsafe environment targeting the South Asian community in Canada and interference into democratic processes. Yeah, this is if that uh, these accusations are true, I think that Canada is justified in taking action against India for this. Although I do believe that they should be giving diplomatic immunity to India's diplomats and not getting them involved in criminally liable, but they should say that whether they or not they were involved. Indian diplomats and consular officials based in Canada leveraged their official positions to engage in clandestine activities such as collecting information for the government of India, either directly or through their proxies. I don't see how that is clandestine activity to collect information for the government. That is completely legitimate. That is the purpose of a government to collect information on the government for the country's security. This is say for what purpose? Just collecting information should not be illegal by any country in any other country as long as it's not secret information of the host country. Evidence also shows that a wide variety of entities in Canada and abroad have been used by agents of the government of India to collect information. Again, nothing wrong with collecting information. And so that's what they've said. This is how India has responded to it. India has said that Canada is sitting on requests to extradite suspects. Let me look at the India Canada extradition treaty. Country. All extradition requests to and from Canada are handled by the International Assistance Group to the Department of Justice India. And some people say that the treaty has been hindered by lobbying and paperwork. Between 2002 and 2020, only six fugitives sought by India were returned from Canada. This is unfortunate. Canada must be much more proactive and cooperative with India in this matter to enforce the treaty. India has responded to the current claims made by the RCMP. They say the current crisis in India Canada relations was precipitated solely by the Trudeau government's baseless allegations against Indian officials, and the Canadian side is yet to act on India's requests to extradite 26 people and arrest several others accused of terrorism and serious crimes. External Affairs Minister spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal told regular media briefing. The Indian side withdrew the six diplomats and expelled an equal number of Canadian diplomats from New Delhi, including Acting High Commissioner Stuart Wheeler. And we are very clear that since September 2023, the Canadian government has not shared any shred of evidence with us. So again, this is just he said, she said. I don't know whether India's telling the truth or Canada is telling the truth. So I won't talk about this, whether or not Canada shared evidence. The spokesperson said that we have seen the comments of Prime Minister Trudeau that he believes in a one India policy, but so far the actions we have requested against anti India elements will actually go against one India, who call for dismemberment and disunity of the country, who espouse separatist ideology. No action has been taken. I think India is right to criticize separatism of India outside India, but it shouldn't be asking Canada to punish these people because in Canada it is legal to support separatism within their country and abroad. There are also several provisional arrest requests under a mutual legal assistance treaty. Among what can I say about this? Well, first of all, I think India has responded well to this. Canada, neither in the RCMP statement nor but in the government statement has given proof that India's government has done this. So I think that this is the correct response. If no proof is given, then India should not accept the accusations. And I agree with removing diplomats who are interfering in India's affairs. And I'm glad that India has made extradition requests for criminals in Canada that have broken India's laws. Now, I think that India somehow should lower the temperature from its side and should do whatever it can to provide evidence to the RCMP of who India thinks is responsible for the killing if it claims innocence. And India needs to reach out to the Sikh community in Canada to assure them that India is not a threat to them, that they are not in any danger. And I hope that this matter is resolved because India and Canada have officially friendly relations. They do not have territorial conflicts or any political conflicts. So I hope we can get back to having good relations with each other. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Please share your thoughts in the comment section. If you want to see other videos about Indian nationalism and current events, click here. If you want to see my previous video, click here. If you want to see the sources I used for this video, click links in the description below. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.